On this episode, I am talking about 5 ways you as a small business can leverage LinkedIn. Go ahead, push play, and I'll catch you on the inside. Welcome back, Bold Move Besties, to another episode of She Built Success. I am your host, Claudia. Let's get into it. So we all know the power of your network, right? They say your network is your net worth. I didn't look this up before we started recording, so I'm kind of proud of myself. No, but in all seriousness, I want to talk about your network and how to actually grow it using tools and platforms like LinkedIn. Yes, if you're a small business, especially if you're an online small business, you probably more skewed towards the Instagram side of the house, maybe YouTube, but LinkedIn is a platform that I still feel underutilized. Now, I say that with a real experience, real lens. So let me just go ahead and give you a little hint here. So back in 2020, LinkedIn had a program called the LinkedIn Creator Accelerator program. And I was a part of 100 other creators who were on the platform creating content for LinkedIn. And so I was able to get an inside peek on not only, some of the things that we're looking to achieve on the platform to become more, involved, not just stuffy business articles. I mean, the creatives that were on there, myself, I was there representing data, IT, analytics as a Black woman, but there were people in the green tech space. There were others who were in corporate proper. There were others who were doing like researching. There was disabilities. There were abilities. It was just a very, very good melding of individuals for this particular cohort. And it wasn't just one particular vertical, which I could appreciate. And we all had different perspectives and lenses that we were sharing our content on LinkedIn. And during my time, I did a few things. I did a series called Can We Talk Data, where I would either solo, this was pre-podcast, y'all, so it was called Can We Talk Data, and I would either solo and talk about things in the data space, or I would bring a guest on and we just have a back and forth dialogue. At that time, I believe it was LinkedIn audio, but then I also did like a video recording from my phone, so I posted that up there. And I found that pulled in for me a lot of different people in the IT, in the tech space, and specifically minorities in data analytics, which we're in 2025 now, so it's a little bit more prevalent, but it wasn't as prevalent then, at least not on LinkedIn as a platform. And so I'm saying this because I think that when you're able to utilize your strengths, your skills, the things that you're good at on platforms like LinkedIn, you're going to draw the type of people that you want to attract. So for me, it was really just finding my people who were like me that weren't necessarily corporate. I'm a little bit of a snowflake. I'm a hybrid between small business and working with small businesses, but then also working in corporate and in the government contracting space, doing B2G work in the data side. So to me, utilizing LinkedIn at that time was Can We Talk Data? So I did that. I did a series called hashtag Carline Chronicles. If you go look up on LinkedIn now, hashtag Carline Chronicles, all one word, you'll see like my big head across almost your whole feed. There's a couple people who borrowed it, but they told me they were going to borrow it, and I was like, go for it. But it was something that I did where I spent 30 to 90 seconds while I was literally waiting in the car line to pick up my kids, and I garnered a lot of engagement from that. The funny part was I would have people not come up to me, but I'd talk to people at different capacities throughout my, even to present. And they're like, oh yeah, I remember you did Carline Chronicles. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was actually a thing. I didn't think anybody was watching, but that's how they remembered me, was from Carline Chronicles. And all I was doing there was capturing, like I said, no more than 90 seconds of either something trending in the news, something happening within my company, or just, something that I wanted to talk about that was relevant. And so I'm saying that because LinkedIn and the power of LinkedIn as a small business, you can leverage it to your advantage. Now, I talked about, how a few different modalities of how I actually use LinkedIn as a platform and as a tool, but I want to talk about a part that nobody really talks about, and that's the DMs or the instant messages, direct messages. So typically when you send a connection request, you have an option to add a note. I would encourage you to add the note, even if it's just a hi, I saw you from, or hi, you were introduced to me because of a mutual connection, whatever that looks like. But, I encourage you to send a note. Kind of sending a blind, connection request is it's weird because I'll say for me, I'd like to know how you got to see me, or how you got to know me, or, what interested you about me. Now, I'm going to segue that into the DM side of the house. So once you get that connection request, you're able to actually DM the person. And in my case, I actually borrowed this, and I'm going to plug Liz J. Simpson. I borrowed this from her, where you actually go ahead and just send a video message, and you can say why you connected, or, something that you found interesting, or just a hello, how are you doing? This is me and this is what I'm about. It brings a more personable and relatable lens to you as a little circle on LinkedIn, right? And so I'm saying this because the power of DMs, a lot of the connections, the engagement, the opportunities that are presented for not myself and my company is because I'm in the DMs, and I'm talking, and I'm having real conversations, and I'm continuing the conversation. And it's not a pitch conversation. It's not here's my services, this is what I offer, this is what I can do for you. No, it's really, I find something mutual that we have in common, or that maybe it was a conference that we were at, or a virtual event, and I immediately connect. And that's another thing. If you're on these like virtual events, put it in your LinkedIn and have them connect with you. Or, once you start the train of, no, it's not train of thought, but if you're the first one to drop your LinkedIn, more than likely other people are going to do it too. But that's how you're able to get those connections and actually say, hey, I found you on, or we were on this virtual event on said date and time. Now, for me, if I meet someone on a virtual event, I typically like to put what the event was, the name of it, and around the time frame. Because sometimes what ends up happening is when you accept somebody's connection request and they sent you like a note, LinkedIn has a weird thing, at least at the time of this recording, where it doesn't actually show you when they sent it, but rather it shows you when you accepted it as the date timestamp, which is weird for me, but I'm the type of person, I want to know when I met you and why I met you. And so that's why for me, when I go, and especially when it's virtual events or networking events, I'll put the event and the date and what the event was about. That's just again, something that one allows me to go back and be like, okay, I remember I met them from this place. But then the other part is, okay, I remember I met them at this date and time, at this place. So, just a tidbit of something. But yeah, in the direct messages, I want to implore you to not only continue to build that relationship. Don't be so quick to say, this is my services. Like, again, find a common thread, find something that you can talk about, look at their profile, see what they're posting. And they may be the silent, was it lurkers or quiet? I'm done with the analogies here, but they may be the ones that don't like to really come on and talk about the things that they're doing outside of work. And they may only be work. Well, is there something in their work landscape or in their work postings that you can relate to or vibe to or have some type of correlation with? And if not, that's okay. And if it's like, I know one person, okay, here's a real example. One person, you know who you are, in the government space actually connected with me. And the first thing that they had said was, so how many shoes and purses do you have? And literally, okay, so I know for sure, again, around 2020, 2021, LinkedIn had this ability when you like mouse over a person's profile picture, they have like a video, I think it was 60 seconds, I believe. And you could do like a 60-second blurb about you so that the person connecting with you can get to know you a little bit better. And I keep forgetting to ask this person, like, did you actually see that video? Because it's supposed to be, non-existent anymore as a platform option. But that's what they greeted me with. So I don't know if it was from a post, because I do talk about it in my post, or if it was from the video somehow getting in their feed. I don't know. But I had to laugh because while this person was in the government space, this was completely not government related. It actually had something to do with something that I liked. So of course I'm going to go ahead and talk about shoes and purses, because that's the thing. But I'm saying that because that was all on LinkedIn. That was organic. I didn't know this person. Yes, we did, I think, have some mutual connections, but other than that, I really did not know this person. And so they reached out to me, and the rest is history, as they say. And that relationship is continuing to thrive, continuing to grow. So don't underestimate the power of direct messages. Okay, so I've so far given you 2 ways to stay relevant on LinkedIn. Now I'm gonna give you a third. So let me glance down at my notes so I don't forget. Oh, the one that I love the most: comment with care. Oh my gosh, when you see somebody post, LinkedIn has this, as of now, has this process where if somebody comments on your post or somebody reacts to your post that is in your network, they could potentially see it. So it's almost like an echo effect. I'm probably not doing the best at explaining it, but so let me give you an example. If we are connected on LinkedIn and you comment on another one of your connections that I'm not connected with on LinkedIn, LinkedIn would show me that you commented on it and show me their post. That's all I'm trying to say. So it's almost like an amplifying effect. I don't have a real name for this yet, but in my head, that's what I call it. It's like a megaphone or amplifying effect. So when you're commenting, don't use just an emoji. Like, yes, you can react to the post, but actually give it some thought. Don't use AI. Give it some thought. Be you. Like if it's something that you disagree with, be polite with it. All right. Don't come for blood. That's not nice. Right? Sharing is caring. Be nice. But I want you to think about how can you comment with intention and action. So I know I've talked a lot about on the podcast about government contracting and how to get started and what it looks like and some of my experiences. I want to say use that, in my case, I use that to my advantage, and I talk about it on LinkedIn, and I talk about it not only with the content that I post, but with content that others post. So I may talk about, I see somebody's posting something, oh, they just want a contract. I do more than just a congratulations. I actually try to look up the contract, or if they've given that information, and figure out a way I can tie not only a congratulatory, because I genuinely am excited or happy or thrilled for them, but also what else can I say? Maybe we haven't connected in a long time, or we hadn't talked in a long time. So then I might say the congratulations on the post, which I've done before, like just the congratulations. But then I hit them up in the DMs and say, yo, how'd you do that? What you doing? What's your period of performance? You geek out on all the government terms, but it really is just keeping that connection and being relevant on LinkedIn. I will say one of the feedback points that I did give LinkedIn as when I was in the Accelerator was, hey, I'm doing a lot of this work behind the scenes in an industry that is not classified in my profile. At the time, it was my profile said I was IT based. I was in the space of commenting with retails and CMOs and things like that. And so I was saying, hey, I'm doing a lot of this behind the scenes, conversations, like real conversations, long conversations. And I'm not getting any type of traction, even though we're connected as, in the retail or the marketing space, even though we're connected, I'm not getting any traction there. I'm still seeing heavy IT, and not the diversity of what I know I'm doing as not only connections, but direct messages. Hey, are you guys going to fix this? I can't successfully say they fixed it yet. I honestly don't know. I have not seen a difference since then. But I'm hopeful. I think that you being able to reach out and comment on others' posts, whether you're connected to them or not only, shines a little bit of light on you and what you do, or at least lends to curiosity to find out more about you, but it allows others to get to know you as well, and a little bit of your view or vantage point. One thing we do here on this podcast is bloopers. We do have bloopers and we share these bloopers, and I laugh every time because it's just funny. I say stuff that I don't know I say, and I'll put that out on social. I'll put that out on LinkedIn, and I'm okay with it. And it's like, I get the funny reactions or the emojis, or I get the, I don't get, here we go again. I haven't gotten any like negative comments on it. It really is just funny, or somebody will comment and then they'll DM me and say, hey, how are you doing? Or just to catch up. And I'm saying all that because it builds connection, right? We talk about networking, but I want to give you practical, real, how can you actually leverage LinkedIn to not only grow and solidify your network, but grow real relationships that lead to opportunities for you. All right, here's another one. Set a time block on your calendar. And I've talked about this in other episodes about time management, time blocking, but set a time block on your calendar weekly where you can interact with these posts. I'm talking about real comments. I'm talking about DMs, direct messages. I'm talking about maybe even push the envelope a little bit and get on video and send a video message. It can be short. It's on your phone. It don't got to be produced. Just really be intentional about your time on LinkedIn. Yes, we can scroll and read, and see everyone's posts, but interact. That's how you get known. That's how you start to get comfortable with the platform. And then finally, my last little tidbit is look at LinkedIn news and see what's trending. So when you typically log on to LinkedIn, on the home screen, on the far right, there's like top stories or top news that's going on, or things that are trending. I forget what the title I think of it today, but it's like what's trending in the news on the right-hand side of LinkedIn. And it'll be things like articles, and you can see how many people are reading it or engaging with it. Look at that and see if you can leverage that to your advantage, because I'm not speaking to algorithm. I'm just saying being top of mind with what's going on. So what LinkedIn is talking about is being talked about is also relevant. And I've done that as well. I've done that to even do hashtag research and see, okay, we're talking about Apple today, or we're talking about Windows tomorrow. How can I leverage this, or how can I work this into what I naturally do? I'm not saying force it, because when you force it, you can see it's forced. When you use AI, you can see it's AI. If your sentences use the Oxford comma, more than likely you used AI. And if your sentences have a bunch of emojis, more than likely you used AI. So I'm just saying, be authentic. It's not that hard. But no, set aside that time weekly and make sure that you're checking what's trending, checking what's happening. Even if it's not trending on LinkedIn, but it might be trending on another social platform, it's sometimes okay to cross over on LinkedIn and talk about it there. You might have an opinion or, a thought that you want to give to it. I'm saying all that because on LinkedIn, to me, when you're I call it stuffy business suit and boring, nobody want to talk to you. And if they talk to you and you're like a high up person, it's because more likely you're a high up person. But there are some, no, I'm not even fake. I don't know no high up folks that look stuffy and boring and are cool at the same time. Like, I don't see that. I know some high up folks on LinkedIn who are cool. They don't look stuffy, boring, and they got a lot of connections. Like, just be you. Like, that's all I'm imploring you to do. Be you on the platform and make sure that you're intentional with how you spend your time. You want to continue to grow your business, whether you're in government contracting or not, whether you're doing small biz, so biz to biz, or you're doing corporate contracts, or whether you're doing government contracting. Just be intentional with how you spend your time on LinkedIn. So, Bold Move Besties, get your pens and paper out because I got homework for you. I want you to set some time aside this coming week to block it off and spend your time on LinkedIn. Comment, refresh your profile, maybe send a couple DMs, and tell me in the comments below how it went for you. Or if, you know what, better yet, I got even one better. You want bonus points? You know how you get bonus points sometimes? Or no, extra credit. It's called extra credit. You know, you get extra credit. Here's your extra credit. Go ahead and follow me on LinkedIn. So if you do @BoldlyClaudia, I am @BoldlyClaudia on LinkedIn and on Instagram. But on LinkedIn, follow me on LinkedIn and let me know, if you do the add the note thing or not, how you found me. All right, until next time, Bold Move Besties, I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye. Are you a small business owner, consultant, or service provider ready to break into government contracting, but not quite sure where to start or who you can trust? Let's change that. The Ready Swipe Gov Accelerator is our 12-week group coaching program that has a one-on-one guided experience feel. Inside, you'll learn how to position your business, package your services, and create your credit card swipeable offer that makes it easier for government buyers to say yes. Plus, you'll have the strategies and tools to be able to navigate the process with confidence. Now, spots are limited, so go ahead and apply at readyswipegov.com and we can get started to that little step forward in government contracting.